Hi, hello, happy Sabbath and Shabbat Shalom. Does not look like my big celery plant is doing super well right now. However, I don't know that it's not either. It is trying to put on new growth, and I don't know if it will recover. I put it outside partly because I knew it would get more sunlight, partly because I knew it'd get good straight rainwater. So hopefully that will make it better for its ability to grow up and go to seed. Our tiger lilies are starting to come in, and they'll be up good and tall for a while before they flower. But, it is spring, so spring things are happening. Now, let's get on with what I've been doing this past week. It rained last night a little bit. Some people apparently had tornadoes and stuff. But fortunately for us, we didn't have much in any kind of flooding or anything like that. So let us go over here and see what's going on with my house project here. Looks like the wind blew that rug over. Not that that's a big deal. Alright, so over here, looks like deer or something. Well, maybe it's an armadillo. So I brought the cement mixer over, and this is a whole pile of brand new sand. Let me make sure I'm zoomed out. Okay, yeah. That's a whole bunch of sand under a tarp. And it's a good thing I covered it up because there are already leaves on it from the blowing and strolling last night. And over here, I've gotten all this area pretty much cleaned. I say leveled. It isn't leveled yet. That's the next thing. I got to level the pad and everything and bring up get the concrete leveled in here with shims and stuff. And when it's level, I'll reference off of it with laser, and I'll go around the outside edge and put gravel, which is first thing I have to do is bring a bunch of gravel over here. Put gravel in here and set these blocks all around it, get them all level, and pin them as many as I can. Probably take a drill and drill in here and put rebar through there with a rotary drill into concrete there and wherever else, but the rest of the place I'll just drive it into the dirt. And then it'll go around the outside edge, and then I'll fill the inside in. We'll put a sheet of plastic with a form board, and then I'll fill in gravel up to the level of that whatever this pad comes to. And then when that's put in, I'll put another layer of plastic over that, and then I'll bond it, tape it somehow, get it stuck to the side of the blocks wherever they come to along the block side there, and downwards and best I can. And then what that'll do is that'll give me a place to bond the concrete pour to the blocks. And then once that's all figured out, I'll go around the outside with some of that oak timber over there that's standing up against a tree, and I will form this in, and then to the height that I want the whole thing to be based off of my laser level again. And then what that'll be is that'll be the height where I pour the concrete to. And then of course I've got to bring up enough gravel to mix up the batch of concrete as well. And it's going to be about 6 inches deep, and I got to get a whole bunch of rebar, which I have to buy because I don't have it on hand. Buy up a bunch of rebar, put in a 6-inch pad. Now it'll be 6 inches in the middle, but it'll possibly be shallower on the edge. In fact, it'll probably only be about 2 to 2.5 inches on the outside edge here, because it'll come up here. So it'll be 4 inches above, 2 to 2.5 inches below, something like that. I'll try to figure it out, because if I have to, I'll lower that down there to make certain it all matches. But the idea is that pad there will be the height of the bottom of the concrete, but it won't be the same as the top of these blocks. So I want to have these blocks up from the height of that enough that they stick out into the wall just a little bit, and then they're wrapped around. I'll try to use a type of priming mechanism I know of that where you spray a thin set type concrete thinly diluted all over the edges of the blocks before you pour the concrete, and it works like a primer. And what it does then is, as it primes, it sets the concrete to where it'll bond. It gets rid of the dry, what they call a cold joint. Let's go see what this gentian's up to. I don't know that it's grown any since I last looked at it. We've had good warm weather and we've had a little moisture. We do have a bud in there, but yeah, it's pretty much no change, no significant change. Oh no, there it is. It is growing. Oops, and it's out of focus. Sorry. It is growing. It's bigger than it was last time I looked at it. You know, one thing I learned the hard way is don't touch those buds. They just instantly break off as if they were just sitting there. So I accidentally broke off some of the buds from it in the past. I gotta be careful not to touch them. So, lesson learned the hard way. Hopefully that's not the only gentian around here, but we won't know until any of the others poke their heads out of the ground from wherever they're hiding, if they are. Otherwise, it's just a case of finding out when some seeds are developed and germinate and grow or something. I don't know. Now coming over here, of course, flowers. Oh, there goes a squirrel. They're around now and then. It's the groundhogs I don't want around. Alright, so the hyacinths came up as predicted. Some of them ended up in the house. My mom picked a few and made a bouquet of hyacinths, and she put a couple daffodils in there and a couple of flowers from verbena. So it's sitting in the middle of the room. It's not anything staggering, but it's definitely there. Oh yeah, forgot these hyacinths. I moved these over here and I thought they had died, but they haven't. And I keep forgetting about them. They're in a ring shape because I planted them in a ring shape. And they're here, they're doing fairly well. Some of them aren't flowering, but they're overall doing fairly well. Again, these irises here are the white ones, and they'll come up first as far as what you'll see flowering. All along this hill they'll be the first flowering, and then they'll flower later and later as they go down the hill. And of course, soon there'll be thousands and thousands of daffodils open, and then I see some more hyacinths over there. On our way over there, let's stop by this peach tree that has decided spring has arrived. So, little peach tree's doing alright. It didn't flower this year, but that's fine, I think. I ashed that again recently, so it's got the proper amount of, hopefully the proper amount of soil pH. Of course, it's going to be a while before these things open up and bloom. Oh, the wild raspberries are opening up. They'll be flowering here pretty soon and fruiting. I forget what these tiny little flowers are called. I don't know. I think those are henbit. They're hard to see. Yeah, they're a form of mint, and they're I think they're called henbit. Sorry. I don't know if I even got that focused. But also, I think it's called heal-all or something like that. Anyhow, it's a potentially medicinal herb. Over here we've got more hyacinths of the tame version right here. And somewhere in here there'll be some wild hyacinths pop up eventually. I need to mow all this stuff down, but I always get too busy. I need to mow it down once a year. This may be tame or wild hyacinths, white hyacinths, I don't know. Hard to say. Kind of hard to tell it from garlic grass at this point. Which is interesting, because if I remember correctly, they're all from the same family of lilies. real dainty looking little type of daffodil here that's a nice thin spindly flower. Again, I couldn't tell you the subdivisions of all of them. I don't think the peony is shooting up above ground yet. It doesn't look like it's. There might be something right there. Yeah, right there. Start to come up. So, of course, the surprise lilies. The cherries are coming out with flowers. We're right about that time now. And this little flower patch has done pretty well for itself, all things considered. I went through a bunch of pinto beans out here, and it was supposedly all organic and natural, and they never did germinate. So it makes me wonder, either they weren't organic and natural, or they had been irradiated, and that kept them potentially from germinating. So the issue with that is that they were supposedly, oh boy, the wind blew all the beer cans out. Well, it was just blowing and strolling, wasn't it? I'm going to go pick a bunch of them up, put them back in the container before they wash down the road or down the hillside. Yeah, it's time to put a bigger cage up. Gotta quit drinking. Actually, now those, let me go over to them. Those look so nice. They're doing really nice. They're the best ones I think of for the whole property. Of course, they're potentially also in the best soil conditions too. The right amount of moisture, the right amount of minerals, the right amount of everything that this type of flower needs. There's just swarms of them. Here's a nice little batch of them. Let's see if I can get over on this other one here. Not scratching the daylight out of myself because, you know, all these greenbriers, thorns. The reason I want to get them from this side if I can is mainly just because of the fact they are all facing one direction, and if I can get them in the picture, it'd be a nice picture for somebody. Yeah. It's a very nice little collection of daffodils. There you go. That'll help somebody who's looking for extra pictures. Again, any pictures I take of flowers like this, you can copy them as much as you want. Here's one of them little, oh, there's a waxy buttercup. Well, I think it's also part of the, what am I thinking of? It might be part of the geranium family. I'm not quite for sure. I have seen some wild geraniums popping up lately, but they haven't had any flowers on. The tame geraniums we've had tend not to do very well for some reason. But sad as that is, it is what it is, and I have no control over that. They just don't seem to be all that durable. Of course, over here, same junk, different day. Actually, again, probably, you know, even if I pile up more junk over here, scrap metal, it's not going to look that much different. Of course, the bag's blowing along is just because of the wind. Gotta get them water tanks out of there. Here in a minute, I'm going to dig in there. Well, not today necessarily, but I got to look in there about a water pump. And specifically, uh-oh, boy, I really screwed up there. Either that or the wind blew that off. I probably screwed up, I don't know. The lid blew off. That's what happened. I didn't put the lid on hard enough, firm enough in it. So now I've got messed up wood ash that I'll have to, unfortunately, have to deal with. Oh, that may not be the right lid for that. Huh. Well, I've got 3 different tires. Hopefully one of them's right. That doesn't seem like the right one either. Huh. Maybe that was the problem all along, so I just had the wrong lid on it. I just waited until I had a good windy day to blow itself off. And well, then it's my fault. Oh well. Anyhow, so the top of my wood ash is wet. I'll just have to break it up. It hasn't lost its potency. It's just not as nice. Alright, I made a little, I call it ore cart, a little wagon. The wheels and axles and plywood were already there, and I just took some blocks of wood and this plastic cement tub and screwed it together to make myself a little ore cart to haul gravel from up there to down here to load on the back of my truck, which is over there because I came in with the little truck the other day and I wanted to park the little truck here, so I backed that one up. It'll go forward over to just far enough for that wagon to come up and down through here, and I'll just shovel it in there and then shovel it out there into the truck. Wish I had a ramp, but that thing will hold 600-800 pounds. I don't think I'd have, even if I had a ramp, I don't think I'd have enough strength to lift it up a ramp. Arguably I have everything for a ramp except the strength to use one, but be that all as it may, I suppose if I backed the truck up just right, I could even run the ramp off the back of the truck. What I'd love to have on there is my winch. I'd make it easy. Where's that winch? It's over here. It goes to my other red truck, wherever I put it. There it is. It's buried underneath so much stuff you can't hardly find it. Yeah, I'm not going to pull it out here. If I ever use it, I might pull it out of there and show you, but it's just it's a boat winch on some giant eye bolts that are on a steel pipe that was set to be a swiveling hand operated winch that goes on the back of this truck bed right here. Actually, we shall see what will come of it. And well, I say that's the cherries are blooming. I don't see any. I forgot to check over here. It says plums are blossoming or not. They don't appear to be. I don't see it. Yeah, unfortunately the plums aren't coming up yet. It's going to be a while before the whole floral batch comes out, so it's really not much more to show because there's some verbena over here, but for the most part there really hasn't been much floral activity coming up yet. A little verbena right there. And later on, of course, all the other flowers will show up. The number of garlics has gone down, elephant garlic, they've gone down to 1 colony. The onions are still surviving somehow. Like I said, I gotta get up here and shovel all this. Or not maybe all of it, but a lot of it. Maybe all of it. I got a lot of gravel here, but it's also got a lot of organic in it that I have to get rid of. But that's about it for this week. That's pretty much everything I can think of, and then some. So, well, we'll see y'all next Sabbath.